Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Mayor Mamdani of New York City has stepped in it yet again. And this time it's very, very, very serious. The last time, just days ago, 16 people died out in the cold. Now, Mamdani has been pushing his vague emphasis on vague Department of Community Safety, right? And that basically means, part of it entails having police respond to less calls and send out essentially social workers, right? Sounds wonderful on paper. But this just happened the other day. A schizophrenic 22-year-old young man, this happened January 26th, the NYPD forced to shoot him after he allegedly waved a knife at police. Right? So he wants a mental health professional. What would that mental health professional have done if the NYPD was not there? So now, not only did police have to shoot this young man, the mayor says he believes that the young man should not face criminal charges. And the mayor stating that after viewing police body cam footage, it's clear to him that what the young man needs is mental health treatment, not criminal prosecution from a district attorney. Sounds just like a socialist. Just like a socialist. And so the young man's family has criticized the police, stating that they called 911 asking for help because the young man was throwing glass against the wall at their home in Queens. So the family stating we called 911 for an ambulance to provide medical attention for our son who was in emotional distress. So what was a social worker going to do in that situation? The family going on to say we did not call the police, right? The part that offends me about this, Mamdani actually visited this young man and his family in the hospital. What about these police officers with the trauma and the stress that they had to fire and wound this young man? And you're visiting him and his parents? This dude is in La La Land, the mayor. And boy, did he get it at City Hall.
Can I get a clarification about something, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. So let's make it really quick and then we do have to go.
I really need to have a clarification about this. I know that you talk about the fact that the police can respond in these instances if there's a weapon. But in this case, there wasn't a knowledge that there would be a weapon. There was, the charges were that he was breaking glass. And at the last minute when the cops came in, he pulled a knife out in the kitchen. So how do you determine when the police can arrive if the initial call doesn't say he's got a gun, he's got a knife? What do you do? And then if it turns violent, if a person's there without the ability to stop him, what happens?
So I think there's a few things to say here. One is a lot of this is exactly the focus of the conversations that we're having internally in developing out this Department of Community Safety. Additionally, I want to make clear that a person experiencing a mental health episode does not always have to be served first or exclusively by a police officer. It is important for us to have all of the options available, and that's exactly what we're looking at.
So in other words, the mayor of New York City had nothing to say in response to this. Did you hear the word salad? He borrowed a page right out of Kamala's script, stating absolutely nothing. So, Mayor Mamdani, what's going to happen? These situations can go left very, very fast. So you have a social worker there in a hypothetical situation, and, okay, the person's throwing glass up against the wall, schizophrenic. And then the person goes and gets a knife. What's that social worker going to do, Mr. Mayor? That actually happened in this case, according to police. And they had to shoot this young man. He's going to live, it appears. And what does the mayor of New York City do? He goes and visits the young man at the hospital? Now, maybe he visited the officers, but what happened is under scrutiny. What about the trauma that the officers faced, that they had to use force to stop this young man? Mamdani is an absolute disaster. What is it going to take to realize Governor Hochul, I know it's an election year. I know you don't want to get involved. This guy has to go. You can't run New York City or a major city like it's an experiment. You just can't do it.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.